Gladys Palarca and Eli Harrell are co-founders at EmergePH. So hello Gladys, hello Eli, welcome to Startup Podcast. We're very happy to have you.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
so
having us.
much.
Yes, I'm actually very excited to learn more about you and to learn more about EmergePH. It's actually empowering Filipinos to thrive through personal growth by connecting with communities and getting access to stories, mentors, and support groups. But I let you answer that question, the first question. So ano nga ba ang EmergePH? Maybe Gladys or Eli can answer this.
Go ahead, Gladys.
Yes. So Emerge PH, it's basically a community-driven startup. Our goal is to really help inspire people here in the Philippines to take radical ownership of their growth and learning. And this is something that I've been passionate about for the past 2 years. And when I started, it was just me. I feel it can feel lonely as well, knowing that you don't really have that much support from your family. And the word self-development itself is like a foreign language. I No one really speaks about that in my community or in my neighborhood, in my family. So I discover, like, you know what, it would be nice to attract people together who's actually passionate about, improving themselves. And so I started creating, small community before, and that was like the start of having this idea for Emerge. But really though, the vision of Emerge PH came from Eli. And I was so happy that I was able to push forward this vision, and now it comes to life. And I'll let Eli talk more about what is Emerge PH.
Yeah. Do you have anything to add, Eli?
Yeah, sure. Just kind of pretty quick. I'll say, I'm from the U.S. but I've been living here in the Philippines for almost 10 years. Mostly Cebu. I've spent a lot of time in Manila. Now we live actually in Dumaguete. And Philippines has really become my home, and I've gotten to know the culture here as well as I think I can so far, and I'm sure there will be more that I will learn. But my personal journey was that I was an entrepreneur my whole life, and in the decade, let's say in my 20s and most of my 30s, I was really focused on creating success. So I was focused on growing my businesses so that I would have more freedom for myself, for my family. I had dreams. I wanted to create them, and I worked really hard, and I had some success in business, but it turns out that, having success financially does not actually make you healthy or happy. It doesn't make you thrive. It's not a complete holistic way to live. And it was in my mid 30s that I found out, I realized I was really stressed out. Didn't really like who I was. And I started asking myself, why am I so unhappy? And it was only kind of in my late 30s that I started asking the question, who do I actually want to become? So I wasn't even thinking about that at all, right? Not even at all. And I didn't even know how to answer the question. So over the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, I started prioritizing much, much more, looking inside myself and understanding how I work. And then through that, kind of understanding how other people work. And then that led me to a whole new way of understanding that, oh my God, the world works. The world works the way that it works based on how humans work. And I read a lot of books, and I started spending time around people. I started looking for people that actually want to focus on learning and growth. And then I'll just kind of shorten this, ending this vision thing. But I've met so many Filipinos in these past 10 years who I saw so much potential in. And I would often share with them books or podcasts or YouTube videos that really inspired me. And often they would say, wow, that's really amazing. But, here in the Philippines, it's a little bit different. My situation. And what I started realizing is that sometimes we can't easily learn from people that came from different places, because in our brains, we're saying my situation's different. So we need to actually hear stories of people who we can relate with so that we can start to realize, oh, wow, maybe I can actually totally, do something I didn't realize I could do. So we've built Emerge to, first of all, inspire as many people as possible from this culture to start believing, like, if you take ownership of your own personal growth, who you can become and where that leads your life in the next 10 years is more than you can ever imagine. And first, you need to hear other people that have done that, people that came from your situation that have done that, right? And then second, you need to connect with other people who are kind of taking ownership of learning, because like Gladys said, when you get on a journey of personal growth, it's very unlikely that the people you grew up around are going to be on it with you yet. Maybe someday, but you can't force them. You can't make them. So we're trying to create a place where people can gather together and kind of pursue. We're calling it, well, anyway, we have a model for it, the wheel of a limitless life. So we want to just help people kind of thrive. That's kind of what it's about.
Yeah, there's actually two things that really hit me with what you said, Gladys and Eli. First, taking ownership of our self-development or of our personal growth. Kasi it's true that in the Philippines, maybe usually nga mag-isa lang tayo, where we grow by ourselves, or it comes from some system. My it's we don't really have ownership of how we grow, of how we traverse through life. And second, yung community, because it's really hard if you find out that, oh, I'll have to do my personal development myself. Pero it's hard to do it by yourself. So you maybe with EmergePH nga, you help maybe people that have the same goals, have the same visions, come together and maybe grow together. So let me ask how you specifically do that in EmergePH in the startup. So I'll ask about Mighty Networks. So EmergePH is actually powered by Mighty Networks. So how does this work? Can you tell us, like, if me, like, for example, I want to learn more. I want to, or maybe in the first place, I want to find who I really am. I want to find similar people. So how does this work basically in the platform that you're making, that you're building?
I'll jump in on that one. I've had several friends from Australia who are running very successful communities, and then also from the US, have been recommending this platform. And if you think about Facebook groups, that's what it's for. Some people try to use Discord to get people together, maybe gamers, and these are pretty good, but they've got a lot of things lacking. And Mighty Networks has been built specifically only for the purpose of helping people who want to create communities have a place where they can kind of design the community around what the people need. And so it allows you to kind of customize so that we don't have to waste our time building a new software platform. Like it's like it's relatively inexpensive, and then we can create and we can recreate and we can redesign. And so we can just focus on creating value and creating a place where the members of the community can also co-create it with us. So it's not just us designing it. It's like we're going to build it with the community. So we're just right now at the very early stages of designing that, but we're going to create a framework. We're kind of creating a framework. One of the things we're doing is creating, we want to give a lot of value to the people who come there where it's free. So it's a free community at first. You come in, check it out. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to say anything. You can just sort of observe what's going on. We've got live events. I'll let Gladys talk a little bit more about some of the things that we're doing as far as what the value for the community is. But Mighty Networks just gives us a space where we can give a lot of value. We can create a space where other people can co-create with us. And then in the members only section, we are going to be doing some really amazing things, bringing coaches from all over the world that we believe in. So we're kind of the curators. It's like we make sure that the quality of thought and the quality of mentors is super, super high. And also mostly people that really either know the Philippines well or care a lot about this culture, and kind of bring those people to help, just to basically coach and support the community through events, through cohort learning. We're doing a lot of different things like that.
Yeah,
one
go
of
ahead.
the one of the few things that we're doing inside the community is we have this in-person Scale You meetup, so people can connect digitally. And right now we've been facilitating Scale You in Cebu and also in Dumaguete. So it's like an informal meetup. I shared like a video from YouTube or a podcast to spark the conversation during that meetup, and we just share ideas and thoughts. So that's what Scale You is all about, and that you can find a lot of details and how it works inside the Emerge community. And also, we do this stretch and accountability group. It's an online event that we, there's different batches, and for each batch, there's like 6 to 5 people inside. So you meet once a week and you basically create your SMART goal stretches. Like, oh, I want to work out for 1 week. And then you report again the next week. And each of the people inside that cohort is like your accountability partner. They celebrate when you achieve the goal, also help you reestablish if you're not able to achieve it. Not really shaming you or anything, but actually guiding you. Is that really something that you want to push forward? Or what is something that you can actually do to refine that goal so that you can achieve it for the next week? And also live events that really dig deep on the topic inside the culture, like, family obligation. How does that affect our growth, as individual here in the Philippines, and so many more amazing activities that we're planning to, facilitate in the future. So those are just few of them.
Yeah, that's actually true. There are like platforms now that we can also freely use, like for example, Facebook groups, Discord. But I think what they're really doing is like putting an emphasis on the community aspect. Like you can easily connect, you can easily interact and support each other. Kasi we have to admit that minsan when it's too free, may mga comments na hindi ganun kaganda. Sometimes it's different when you have like a totally free group that sometimes may onting toxicity, may onting negativity. If you have a support group, if you have that community that you're really like similar, similar thoughts, similar view, similar vision, you'll actually get the most out of what you want. But let's focus on that community aspect. So this is very interesting actually. Aside from what you've said, you've actually said a lot of things that you're planning to put in the platform into EmergePH. Pero what else? How really, because I think this is what will set you apart really from all these other groups and the community aspect. So what are all the like the roadmap? What are all the things that you plan to put into the platform? How important is community, and second, how else do you plan to like zoom in on that aspect, kumbaga?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great questions. I want to quickly comment on what you said about Facebook. One thing I like about Mighty Networks, even though it's a little bit of work to get to sign into a new platform, and remember, it's free. Like you don't have to pay anything to be a member there. We want as many people that are interested in growth to please join. There's going to be tons of value for free members. And then there's going to be some deeper value for people who want to become paid members, right? So, the vast majority of people will probably remain free members, and that's totally fine. So one of the things, though, I wanted to point out is that the world needs, I think we are going to see a trend where people start to move away from social media and they start to move toward communities, because social media is just like our attention is so diffuse, right? So spread out across not only so much media, but also so many people. And I think it's important for us, if we want to live our best lives, to become more selective about the people we really want to spend our time with. So that's where I think it makes a lot of sense to go ahead and like, okay, let's take time away from the social media platforms. Let's go over here to this platform. It's like kind of a line in the sand where I'm shifting to this. So I think that's one piece of value. Plus, it's just built for it, right? With the roadmap, the things I would mention, number one is really a focus on helping people think through what the process of growing yourself looks like and improving your life looks like. And so we've got a model that we're using that's calling it the wheel of a limitless life. And we're kind of organizing the areas of your life into 10 different sections. So could be like one of them we call abundance, which would be work or business. Could be relationships, intimacy, let's say life partner, getting better at those things. And the way that life really works is that we can't work on all of them at the same time. So you're always going to have, if you think of a wheel like having 10 spokes, if you let any of those spokes become very weak or broken, the wheel will not roll. It'll be super bumpy. So we need to keep developing and strengthening them but we can't do them all at the same time. So we just have to work at one at a time. And life, it kind of tells us, work on this one. You'll get these signs, like you'll realize like, I'm really not happy with something in my life. Well, that's okay. It's just time to go work on that spoke. But at the center of the wheel is personal growth, is actually working on yourself. And we need to focus on developing ourselves as the primary focus, which is the foundation of becoming good at improving those sections of our lives. So that's kind of what the whole community will be based off of. And we're going to be bringing in, I think, amazing people from around the world. I already know many through my network that would like to support what we're doing, who will come in and do talks and events, maybe courses. So that's one thing. And also we have plans. Well, I guess I'll just stop there. There's too many things on the roadmap. I probably should just.
Yeah. But I mean, in what I can imagine, like if I'm actually imagining like as a user, so I go to the platform and I can see like those 10 aspects of development, and I can choose maybe saan ba ako nagkukulang, where do I lack, and then when I go there, maybe I can find, are there like many communities in one aspect? I mean, I can talk to different people, and then I can also like select the mentors or the courses or like the whatever. Is it how it works? And then for the mentors, what can they do in what basically what can they do in the platform? So there are these 10 aspects, and then there are these people. So can you explain more to that?
Yeah, great question. As we grow, we're going to need more community management on our team to make sure that we're serving the community better and better over time. And we'll have to, we'll have to learn how to kind of empower, I guess, our mentors and coaches to serve the community in the way that they want to or that they can. Because some people will only be able to come in and do a 1-hour speech, and then other people who are amazing. Like we actually have several, I would say, ambassadors that are already in the community who already engage and spend quite a bit of time there. So I think it's going to be organic, and we're going to learn as we go because we've never done this before. But we're trying to learn from experts who have built communities in the past that have succeeded. So we're just trying to learn as we go. But if you're there, it would be amazing if you give us suggestions as well, and observations, and tell us where you think things are missing.
Yeah, actually that's true. No? I mean, structure is flexible naman. We can change the structure with actually depending on the users, depending on the people, whatever how you really see it like most effective to the people. Do you have anything to add, Gladys?
Yeah, the thing that I really appreciate about the creation of this community of EmergePH community under Mighty Networks is you can have like different free spaces that people can join into, and our founders of growth space, that's where you can access everything for free. You can post your learnings for free, and it's like you get to learn from everyone inside the community. And we're really encouraging people like to share whatever their learnings are for the day, posting things that could spark a question to each other, and also like just watching all those posts instead of like going to Facebook and seeing different kind of posts. Here it's like curated, really specific for growth and learning. So that's something I think that set it aside from the other. Yeah,
it actually makes really perfect sense, and I'm actually very interested to use it. I mean, like when I use it, I can find like those aspects of development. I can choose saan ba ako nagkukulang, and maybe I can put like a mark whatever or whichever I want to focus on now and maybe in the future. And then when I go there, I can find these groups, I can find these communities, I can find mentors, I can find maybe like speeches or something like that, and I can learn, and I also take ownership of my development. So I think it's really nice. And I think many Filipinos would want to use this. So can you invite our listeners to download the app, or how do they go to the platform? How do they use the platform?
Yeah, you could just go to emergeph.com, and either you can log in through Chrome or any browser, or even Chrome on your phone if you want. but the app is free. And once you have the Mighty Networks app, any other communities that you would ever join that are using that app would also be like navigable inside of it. Someday we might get to the point where we'll white label an app from them, but for now you just download the Mighty Networks app and it'll just auto log you in when you're logging into the EmergePH community. And I wanted to kind of just add, as we're inviting people to find us, we're putting out a lot of YouTube and Facebook, Instagram, TikTok content that are these stories of people that you might find inspiring. And the whole point of all the work we're doing in creating those stories is to help you find your tribe and the people. So a lot of the people that you will hear us interviewing on YouTube, etc., you'll also be able to meet them inside the community. And so it's all about conversations, right? Because that's actually how humans learn. And even though we've got all this technology in the world, like we still just learn from each other. And the best way to learn is to find the people who inspire you the most and then ask them, like, how did you do that? What did you read? How did you make yourself into who you are? And that's really the way we learn.
Yeah, and to find your tribe. Do you have anything to add,
Exactly.
Gladys?
Yes, and once you're inside the community as well, there's a page there like intro to the community. So you can just click that and it will walk you through on how the community works, where to find events, how to connect with people, how to write a comment. And I also talk about the wheel of the limitless life and how personal growth as the center of that wheel affect each aspect of your life, from your energy, like health and fitness, from intimacy, like building a relationship, like partnership, and also connecting with people, learning, and all of those aspects. So you'll get more information there.
Yeah, I actually already downloaded the Mighty Networks app, when I was doing my research, and now I understand, that like EmergePH, you're building the Philippine focused community and network community using that platform. But can we know some backstories first? So I'm actually interested. So Eli actually told some stories, like how he went to the Philippines. Pero how really did the two of you like come together to build EmergePH? How did the idea come up, and how did you like push into starting the startup?
So for me, I had a long-term relationship before that wasn't really working, 6-year relationship that ended. And when that ends, I was just single for 3 years, and 2 years of that is just me trying to date and find someone that I could partner with. And I was unsuccessful. And so I dropped that agenda and started to like ask myself, like, oh, what do I actually want to become, and what do I want to focus on? And I realized I really would love to improve my health first. So working out was one thing that I first focused on, health and fitness aspect. And when I realized that I could actually change my body physically and feel better, improve myself, I started asking that question of what else can I change in my life? I grew up in a squatters area. I'm a single mom. Like, what else can I improve? And just by asking that question, it sparks a lot of opportunity for me. Like, oh, I can actually find a better job for myself. And I started absorbing YouTube content that are very inspiring for me. And even that also leads me to, I deactivated Facebook for 2 years. And when I started to download it again, I told myself that this time I will only connect with people that I can learn from. And that's when I found Eli. He has another podcast as well, Products with Purpose. And I thought like, oh, maybe I can learn from this person. Maybe, this person can tell me what my purpose in life is. And Eli was like sharing me about this vision of Emerge. And at first I was like, well, this is such a great idea, but I couldn't really wrap my mind around how he can create it. I don't have a business background up until we went to Manila last time, and he was in this meeting with other entrepreneurs, and I was just there listening. And they were like sharing some ideas of a startup that they want to build, like a startup academy, something like that. And I thought like, wow, so this is how a startup or a company is built. You just have this idea, this passion that you want, and the purpose that you want to create a change or impact other people. And I realized Eli had this vision for 7, 8 years, this emerge. And this is something close to my heart because, I'm from the Philippines. I care about the people here. I have my kids. I want to basically make the world and this country better. So I asked Eli last year, was like November, December last year, like, what can we do to move forward the vision that you have? Like, I don't have any business background, but I definitely have the passion to learn and to like push it forward. So that's basically for me how I had that passion to like really push it through.
Yeah, that's
Thank you
nice
for
to
that.
hear. That's very nice to hear, actually. I mean, it's like a story that you have, and you're actually like through Emerge PH, you're actually making your story the same with other people. You're actually like giving them the opportunity as well to find other people and do what they really want to do for themselves and for their growth. How about you, Eli? Like on the business part, I mean, you've been an entrepreneur, pero why why really focus now on Emerge PH? Why focus on like on this particular vision, on this particular mission?
So as I've gotten, as I've kind of gone through my journey in life, I've more and more and more realized the value of self-teaching, and that humans, like, we enjoy life more when we have some autonomy, we feel like it's voluntary. Like if we have chosen who we're becoming and what we're learning and then what we get to do in life, like it's such a good feeling. And so I'm a very strong advocate of self-teaching and learning how to learn. Nobody
Yeah,
teaches us actually how to learn. They just tell us what to learn, you know?
yeah,
And so I could talk about that for days and days and days, but I'm just a big fan of that. And then as an entrepreneur, I got to this place where I realized that we need progress in life. We need a lot of things to be happy. Well, maybe not that many things. We need the basics, and then we need to feel progress and learning and growth. We also need contribution. And it's way more enjoyable to create something in the world that you feel is actually making people's lives better than it is to make money. And honestly, we don't have a strong revenue model yet. We're not making any money yet. But I really believe we can if we create enough value for the world. Like I know that we will be able to partner with companies. I've got, actually, speaking of roadmap, I've got 6 or 7 different companies internationally that I think have amazing products that we're going to be able to bring in to our community. One of them is for mental health support. One of them is for job upskilling. So I think we're just going to be able to bring a lot of value to people. And that's the primary focus. And we'll figure out how to make money later and make it sustainable later.
yeah,
But yeah, I think it's just, I've realized several years ago, like I just want to be, it's much more rewarding to prioritize impact and service,
yeah,
and not, because you can have all the money in the world, but you still might not be very happy.
yeah. And now that I realize with what you've said, this actually like a bit challenging because you've mentioned the right word, self-teaching. I mean, in the Philippines, most of us learn from other teachers based on some curriculum, based on what other people have done. Pero self-teaching, learning how to learn, minsan nakakapagod siya. It can burn you out because sometimes you're lost or you don't feel the progress. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to learn next. But like when the curriculum is there, when the system is there, it just feeds you and just you just take in all those content. But that um there's like trade-offs between the two, like when you learn from a system or when you self-teach or when you self-learn. So I think, but with Emerge PH, you're empowering the people, the Filipinos who want to self-learn or who want to self-teach. So speaking of this Filipino aspect, kasi Emerge PH is actually like Mighty Networks, like this platform, this structure you're now building for the Philippines. So are there like specific things, specific features, specific whatever that you think maybe iba, maybe different in the Philippines, maybe special for the Philippines? What do you think about that?
Gladys, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think for us, for Emerge PH, as you said, it can be very overwhelming to start on a journey of self-teaching because then you have to decide, oh, what do I learn? Where do I find those learnings and how do I start? So those are like the common question and the common blockers of people why they don't even want to push forward for that. And that's why in Emerge, we want to create this learning runway. So curating the right people to be in the community where everyone can actually learn from. And you can actually choose like, oh, this particular person actually speaks my language. I feel like I can relate to this person. So therefore I will follow this person. I will ask who this person actually learn from. What books is this person digesting, reading? What podcast is this person listening? At least for me, that's how I also like learn learn for myself. And that's what we're doing inside the community. And also having that space in the community where people can share some podcasts, book, or any sites where people can visit and click. And if that's something, if that or particular podcast is something that ignites you, then you can continue digesting those posts. So there in Emerge community, you can, as you said, you can choose what aspect of your life you feel like you need to improve on. You say like, oh, I feel not happy with my current relationship right now. Like, how can I improve my relationship? So let me go to the intimacy section and see what are the content that are there and who are the people who are the people, the coaches that are there so I can connect with them. So I think that's like the really, one of the value that the community can offer.
And I'll add briefly just to my thoughts on what's different about the Philippines. And the first thing I would say is less than you think. Like humans have the same challenge everywhere, and this same issue exists everywhere where all humans on the planet would be better off if they took personal ownership of who they're becoming, right? End of story. But first of all, it feels better when we feel like something's actually designed for us. And the differences would be connecting with people you can relate with. And like you said, in this culture, the educational kind of mindsetting is very scripted. It's very, it's like very told what, it's like if you're good at doing what you're told, you succeed. But
that's true.
That's not the world we live in anymore, right? We live, and this is the one thing I would say that's, I think, really important. Recognizing that we live in a period of time. Today is the best day in human history for learning because we have more access to knowledge today than we did yesterday. And that's the most that there's ever been. So we can access all learning. But like you said, super hard to figure out where to start. And so being able to connect with people that are on a similar journey to you, and they can say, well, this really, really meant something to me because, and you start to just find those people that really inspire you. So the way that the learning journey works, or the easiest hack to learning how to self-teach, is find one or two people that you really relate with, who you really respect, and you can and just find out how did they do it, like what. And it's not every part of them that you want to become, but you'll just pick and choose. You'll synthesize. Like the more people, and those people will lead to books, podcasts, whatever. So I think it's really important to design something. Oh, and language, right? We need to be able to have conversations and be able to support language. So those are the main reasons.
Yeah, and actually, like I mean, just some thoughts, like maybe on the revenue model on how you can make this sustainable. Basically, you can connect like the people and the coaches. I mean, and then put some premium maybe on some premium products or something. I mean, I'm just thinking of it that way. But basically, you're like bringing communities in together and helping them, empowering them to learn through self-development, through self-teaching, through self-learning. I think this is a perfect ending to this interview. But just one last question, so we can end this conversation with like, ano nga ba, or what really is like the vision? How really do you see Emerge PH maybe changing Filipinos lives maybe in the future, in like 5 years or 10 years, or like give us just the bigger picture of all of this.
That's a
Gladys, you wanna go?
very meaty
Miss
question.
Universe question.
What a very meaty question. Like for me personally, as a mother as well, and being able to take ownership of my growth and really having that vision of, wanting to take charge and focus on who am I becoming, I started to realize what are the limiting beliefs that I have that was passed along from my culture, from the culture here in the Philippines. And I would just pick one, let's say, for example, and maybe this can be controversial, but at least for me, I don't want to continue it with my kids. It's like using my kids as a retirement plan, something like that. And for
I
me, I
support you with
realized,
that.
yeah, for me, I realized like, I can understand why a lot of people here in the Philippines go that route. And I just don't see it as valuable for me or for my children. So I want to show them that, even if I'm already a mother, I still want to enjoy my life as Gladys. And at the same time, I also want to be present with them. I also want to build and create business, startup. And with that, I see my kids seeing, using myself as like a role model for them. So when they grow up, they can continue that kind of pattern instead of the common pattern that we have here in the Philippines. And I think if a lot of for the next generation, if they start going that direction, they are more empowered. And this country is so beautiful. We have a lot of natural, resources, and I think we really have the potential to be in that first world country. Hopefully, because people are just in that mindset thing. They're not just contented with, okay, I just have to find a job and be regular. But this time they're now empowered and think of what can I create for the country? What can I create to help other people? And I think that's a very promising future. And I'm so excited for that.
Yeah, we need to unshackle ourselves from colonialism, something like that. We need to, yeah. I mean, I think it's connected with like freedom, self-learning. It's all really connected. How about you, Eli?
Yeah, just really quickly, I'll say that, when any one individual on the planet makes this decision to prioritize developing yourself, you cannot believe the ripple effect of who you will become and who you'll touch. Like when we prioritize everyone but ourselves, we don't grow as much. But when we actually put our growth first, who we become, who we can become, we don't know what the limit of human potential is. Has any human ever maxed out human potential? Probably not. We don't think so, right? So we have so much potential in us. And when we grow that, the ripple effect, the people we touch, sometimes people, they tell me like, you don't understand that coffee meeting we had 5 years ago. It changed my life. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was just sharing something I read, right? So the more we work on ourselves, like if hundreds of thousands of Filipinos are really helped by what we're doing, the ripple effect is just something we'll never measure.
Amazing. Actually, that's true. That's true. Thank you for your wonderful answers. Yeah. Salamat, Gladys and Eli, for this conversation. If our
Thank you so
listeners
much.
want to know more pala about EmergePH, maybe they want to connect with you, maybe they want to know more pa. So how can they connect with you? How can they know more?
You can find us on Facebook, EmergePH, also YouTube. There's a lot of content there. YouTube /@ EmergePH. And give us feedback as well. Please tell us what we can do better.
Yes,
Yeah,
and join our community, EmergePH.com. It's free and you can be connected with a lot of amazing people there as well.
All right. So let's invite our listeners to know more about EmergePH. So try the app, learn more, and maybe try that path of self-teaching, of self-learning, self-development. So maraming salamat, Gladys and Eli. Thank you for this conversation. Salamat.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Manny.
Thank you very much to our 32 patrons. This episode is super powered by TechShake, Asia's most active Philippine-based startup ecosystem builder creating bridges with investors, corporations, and governments. 1 CFO, tech-enabled CFO, bookkeeping, and tax services for startups and SMEs. Take 5 Outdoors, the best guided outdoor adventure tour in the Philippines. They specialize in hiking and mountaineering trips. Benjoy's Food Products, the home of premium bacon ends, tapa, and tocino. D-Buzz, Web3 microblogging app promoting freedom of speech and content ownership. Pinoy IP Works, capture your startup's value proposition through patent and trademark protection. Packetworks, the leading enabler and only Internet of Things social enterprise in the Philippines. Looking for buy and sell online with Sigurado sellers. And NutriCoach, the all-in-one productivity tool for dietitians and nutritionists. This episode is powered by Pareto Consulting, AltSwitch, ePlayment, Tuala, and Hive Energy PH. AskLex PH Academy is our official e-learning partner. Get certifications on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and many more. Support the podcast through the links in the description.